something to bring to the table. There's just a lot of opportunities here if you're up for the challenge.
Jump on board, be part of the fun ride, because we're going places.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
You're good at making big announcements. We're good at your insurance.
Start with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, online, over the phone, or in person, and stop knocking on wood.
From warehousing to transportation and everything in between, Piper Logistics does it all. Centrally located, Piper Logistics has 2 warehouses in Indianapolis and a warehouse in Cincinnati, Ohio. Piper Logistics houses over 1 million square feet. Along with our transportation department, we can provide service to half the United States markets.
Aspen Creek Grill, we are a from-scratch concept with comfort fresh food. You can expect a world-class experience on a great budget. We've got incredible specials, great service. Today's dish that we're going to highlight is going to be our Aspen Blue Sirloin. It is, again, our premium Black Angus certified beef, and we top that with a blue cheese crust. Again, everything that we do here is made from scratch, and it's no different from our steaks. We hand cut all our steaks in-house. So our team back there, it's just an incredible team. Everything that they do, they take so much pride in. They put a little bit of themselves into everything that they do over here, especially since it is a made from scratch concept. We want everybody to come, visit us, enjoy some great food with some great service. Bring your friends, bring your family, come have some great food, have a great time with us with some of the best comfort scratch food.
Thinking about what to do after high school? Consider a career with Boilermakers Local 374. As a Boilermaker apprentice, you'll earn while you learn. We offer excellent wages and benefits, and as part of our no-cost hands-on apprenticeship program, you'll learn from the best in state-of-the-art training centers and on the job. Become a union Boilermaker and get on your way to a great career. Find out more, visit www.local374.org or call 219-845-1000.
Bertner Electric Incorporated provides professional commercial electrical contractor services to Indianapolis and surrounding communities. Locally owned and operated for over 30 years, our knowledge and experience make us the perfect choice for all your commercial electrical contractor needs. Contact us today.
Thanks to you. service. You are truly making a difference in the lives of our neighbors in need.
Can't make it to the game? We've got your back. Just go to www.IndianaSRN.org and tune in to all of the live action, or go to our on-demand service and relive your favorite moments.
Sports fans, welcome back to Game Time, to pure spirits, to pure sport. Welcome back to high school sports.
Fans, I'm IHSA Commissioner Paul Knighty, and I just want to say, welcome back.
This is Game Time. This is Indiana high school sports. This is your IHSAA.
Hey Indiana, let's clear the air about vaping. Glue, rat poison, paint. We all know these products contain poisons like formaldehyde, arsenic, and lead. And these are just a few of the chemicals you'll find in e-cigarette vapor. Let's clear the air, Indiana. Don't puff this stuff. Visit don'tpuffthisstuff.com to join the fight and spread the word.
Calling officials cheaters or corrupt, it's not a game.
Insulting referees, it's not a game.
Threatening officials, it's not a game.
Berating young umpires, learning the ropes, it's not a game.
Violent language in the stands, it's not a game.
Verbal abuse from the sideline, it's not a game.
Screaming at a referee in the parking lot, it's not a game.
HCAC TV is on the air, live from Spartan Stadium and on the campus of Manchester University. This is week 2 of the college football season. This afternoon we have an exciting matchup as the Alma University Scots make the 3.5-hour trip down I-69 South to take on the Manchester University Spartans. This afternoon's game is brought to you by the Morales Group, building better futures one story at a time. Aspen Creek Grill, why go anywhere else for delicious food? Burtner Electric, providing quality electrical services in central Indiana. Boilermaker 374. We're second to none in quality and performance. Clean Slate, inspired innovation that moves business forward. And Piper Logistics, from warehousing to transportation and everything in between. Alongside producer Nick Lewis, cameraman Justin Griffiths, and my partner Peyton Brown, this is Clark Chafin. And Peyton, they say teams make the biggest improvements from week 1 to week 2 of a season, and I'm sure these coaches are going to be looking forward to seeing that progress in this afternoon's matchup. Alma, it's really kind of hard to find what went wrong during week 1. They started off hosting Ohio Northern in their first game, and they came away with a decisive 52-7 victory. If you're Coach Jason Couch of the Scots, what, if any, improvements are you looking for in today's game?
I would say just to be able to feed off of last week is their most important thing here, because when you have such a dominant start to the season, you want nothing but that to snowball down the road for the rest of the season. So if I'm this Alma football team and the coaching staff, I'm just feeding off of what went well last week and having confidence in those little fundamental things.
And if you're Manchester, it's a different story. You lost 27-0 to North Park Vikings. And as we get ready to talk about Manchester and Alma, we're going to take a short break. We'll dive into some players and meet their starting lineups. This is HCAC TV on IndianaSRN.
Hey folks, good to be with you for tonight's game. My name is Andy Simpson, and I'm a licensed IHSAA football official, and welcome to Friday Night Football powered by IndianaSRN. On behalf of the 340 football officials, the IHSAA, the crew here at IndianaSRN, we hope you enjoy tonight's game, and more important, don't forget to subscribe to the IndianaSRN YouTube page. As you're watching tonight's contest, I'm going to show you a few of our signals that will help you better understand the information we are trying to convey. Touchdown, safety, first down, holding or illegal use of hands, encroachment, or offsides commonly known, false start or illegal formation on the offense, or a free kick scrimmage violation, face mask, intentional grounding, roughing the passer, clipping, illegal shift, illegal motion, illegal block, pass interference by the offense or the defense, delay of game, and the one signal we dislike and you as fans don't like seeing, unsporting. We'd like to thank everyone for tuning in tonight and following us on IndianaSRN. You can also tune in to the Football Weekly Show and Coach's Show every Saturday morning at 8 a.m. on IndianaSRN.org. Finally, if you've ever thought about becoming an IHSAA official, www.ihsaa.org and click on the Officials tab or call the IHSAA office at 317-846-6601. Now, sit back and enjoy the game.
Welcome back to Spartan Stadium as the captains for both teams meet at midfield for this afternoon's coin toss. As we're talking a little bit about both Alma and Manchester and some key players. Manchester will start with the home team, the Spartans, 0-1 in Coach Hunt's first season, and what a big win this would be to pull off a big upset against the Alma Scots, who have moved up in the polls, now ranked 23rd this week's polls. You know, last week Manchester had a tough time on offense, only 206 total yards, really plagued Peyton by field position and penalties. Dante Cheney led him with 89 yards passing and also 34 yards on the ground. Jalen Love and Josiah and Serena Smith combined for 67 yards, but it doesn't look like Jalen Love is playing, so the workload to Josiah and Serena Smith. And Duriel Moss Jr. had 3 catches for 47 yards and also made an impact in the rushing game as well. You know, Peyton, what kind of keys do you think can help the Spartans pull off this upset?
Yeah, the Spartans just need to focus on turning the page from last week, because off of a week like that and seeing coming into a game, seeing a team blow out the other team that they played last week can affect a player's head. But if they're able to just turn the page, move on, and find a rhythm today, that'll be most important for them because they have weapons, they have the skill, they have the talent, and obviously the team chemistry. But sometimes it takes a few weeks to find that rhythm. So if they're able to find that today and feed off of that, if I'm the Spartan football team, that's what I'm focusing on.
And meanwhile, the Alma University Scots, I mean, what can you say about them? They had scored 52 points last week and also created 4 turnovers. And talking to the coach this week, he mentioned how proud they are of a defense, and they hang their hat on getting those turnovers. Have led the nation 2 years in a row in the turnover category.
And it looks like they'll start on defense because defense wins championships.
And we're ready and set with a gorgeous day here in North Manchester as the Spartans take the opening kickoff. And they'll cross the 20 to the 24. They'll start this way on offense. Quarterback Dante Cheney, running back Josiah and Serena Smith. Wide receivers are Duriel Moss Jr. and LeVar Leisure and Jordan Barnett. Tight end Justin Egegum. Tackles are Austin Ellis and Leon Williams. And at guard, Connor Hindman and Luke Martin. And at center, Wayne Vaughn. Let's see this dual threat attack from the Manchester offense. We saw it last week. Dante Cheney, a big part of what they did, both running and throwing the ball. As they'll start with first possession on the 24-yard line. Quick bubble screen out to number 4, Moss.
Number 4, Duriel Moss Jr. on the reception. He is brought down by number 17, Gage Nelson.
And a nice 4-yard gain on that quick screen. Want to get Duriel Moss Jr. the ball open in space. He can be a playmaker for the Spartan offense. And a good sign by Cheney making his first completion there. It took him a while last week to get the passing game going. 2nd and 6. Swinging out to Cheney again. What great pursuit by the Alma Scott defense. Number 7, the linebacker, Jack Kreizenschmar.
And what a great pursuit by him coming downhill. He came all the way from that free safety spot, as we can see. And that's what's going to be game changers for defenses, especially with these quick type passes. That you can obviously see that the Spartans want to get their playmakers the ball in open field, but to have a free safety that is that downhill that quick is going to be huge for them.
Big 3rd down. Fumbled snap. It's on the ground. And the Scots come up with it. Their first turnover is recovered all the way down to the Spartan 14-yard line. The recovery by number 9, Jerome Robertson.
And it looks like Alma is just taking over how they did last week. And the past couple years with the turnovers here, they were able to capitalize on just a little bit of a muffed snap there. And as you can see, as we took a look back at that, they are quick to the ball.
Maybe Cheney got a little rushed and tried to make a move beforehand. Here's the run pass option straight up the middle. Down to the 6-yard line is Eddie Williams, an 8-yard carry for Williams. And they'll quickly go back to the line of scrimmage, and that RPO, there's a little pass to Williams out to the left side, and he's in for the touchdown. Out from 7 yards, and with 13:0 seconds, 2 plays, and a touchdown by the Alma Scots.
And as we can see here, he's able to just find his back, Williams, in space here, and he's able to walk into the end zone. And he is only a sophomore coming into this year, but he has certainly been a game changer.
Extra point attempt. And it's up and good, and Alma quickly on the board with 13:06 remaining in the first. They lead Manchester 7-0. Well, if you're a Manchester Spartan, not the start you were looking for on the third play from scrimmage. Fumble recovered by Alma Scots, and 2 plays later, Alma goes on top 7-0 on a 6-yard run by Eddie Williams. 2 plays, 14 yards, all tallied for by Williams. As here comes the Spartans on the kickoff. Up to about the 20-yard lines where they'll start their second possession.
And I think something to focus on here with this Alma football team coming in here as the visitors is just their pursuit to the ball, because we've seen it not only defensively with the first 2 plays as they were able to keep them to a short gain, but also the turnover. Multiple white jerseys were there, and now as we see on special teams as well with the kickoff team, that ball carrier was surrounded by a host of the Alma Scots.
Just, I think, a big factor, Peyton, in Manchester's offensive success is trying to get positive yards on first and second down to make sure that's a manageable third down. And we have a pre-snap penalty as they have a false start. 13 penalties last week against the Spartans.
False start. Offense, number 65, 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
And it will be a first down and 15 now. And once we said trying to get positive yards, they have a self-inflicted penalty, pre-snap penalty. Cheney, here's the handoff. Trying to get outside is Anserina Smith, but he's bottled up by that Scots defense. Loss of 2 on the play. Tackled by number 64. And that is Jack Anderson. Plainwell, Michigan. Plainwell, Michigan is Anderson. 6'3", 255-pound sophomore. Here's Cheney. Anserina Smith tries the left side again and gets back to about the line of scrimmage.
And again, with these short gains, the Spartans aren't able to find much running room here. Number one was something that I mentioned before. It's the pursuit of the defense and the pursuit from the team. But also, these gaps are closing really quick, and it's because, as you can see in the defensive linemen and the linebackers, they're extremely disciplined with understanding what their gap is and where they need to flow and win.
And Peyton, as a defense, when a team seems like they're one-dimensional, as it feels like Manchester is right now, how much easier is that for you as a defender?
It definitely closes the gap in your mind, because mentally coming into games preparing, you're on guard for passes and runs. But as you said, the Spartans are a little one-dimensional right now, so it closes the gap with that because they're able to take their run out, so it forces them to pass, so they really only got to be thinking about where they need to get to in coverage.
Cheney eludes the pressure on that last play just a little high as we see him avoid the pressure. He did this really well last week, but tough to throw on the run, especially for a right-handed quarterback moving to your left.
Yeah, it's a cross-body throw, and as we saw there, he was a little on his back foot too, because he had that Alma Scots defense right in his face.
So in for the punt, and might have been partially tipped. They're going to let it bounce at the 35. It'll take a Manchester roll before they kill it at the 41. Beachy's punt will come down at the 41, where the Scots will take possession. They're led by Carter St. John.
Personal foul, defense, hurdling, number 35.
And a 15-yard penalty against the Scots as a hurdling personal foul. That's their first penalty. And that'll back him up 15 yards, so that'll take him. Actually, that'll give Manchester a first down, I believe. It's a personal foul. It comes with an automatic first down, and Manchester is going to be able to maintain possession. What a good break for them.
A huge break for them, and it's in these little cracks in the games that teams are able to find momentum. Penalties are a huge one. As Alma was about to get the ball back with the momentum on their side, maybe Manchester can capitalize off this penalty.
Well, 1st and 10 from the 33-yard line. Here come the Spartans. Pistol formation. Cheney looks over the middle, has some pressure, eludes a couple of men before he's able to get a gain of about 3 yards.
And making something out of nothing there, as we've talked already about how this Alma Scots team is quick to the football, but having a dual threat quarterback, you got to watch out because he can pass the ball, obviously, but in situations like this, he's able to tuck it and run it.
And only a 3-yard gain, but that's better than a penalty where you're behind the sticks already. So a good positive gain, 2nd and 7. And the little defensive line lateral movement, I believe, got the offensive lineman to jump, and it did. It's their 2nd false start penalty. 2 penalties now for 10 yards. They'll move the ball back to the 31. Where it'll be 2nd and 12. Gorgeous day here in North Manchester, about 70 degrees, partly cloudy skies, little breeze, about 10-15 miles an hour. That's into Manchester's face. So here's the handoff. Looking for running room, and Peyton, as you said, that hole just closes up quickly. The ball's out, but they're going to say that he was down.
And it looked like that running back had a little bit of hope to the left side of the line of scrimmage, but maybe he wasn't able to see it, and quickly an Alma Scott football player was right there. I think it was the linebacker that was filling that gap, Gage Nelson on that side, or it may have been Odin Sofferdine.
Cameron Hovey's checked into the backfield now for the Spartans. Hovey's a 5'10 junior from Sheridan, Indiana. 3rd and 13. Cheney drops back to pass. Throws it outside to Moss Jr. Tries to make a man miss, but can't get anywhere. A minimal gain of 1 yard.
And once again, as we see at the end of this play, you have one Manchester Spartan with the ball, obviously, but you have about 6 Alma Scots right around him.
That rallying to the ball, and Manchester unable to do anything with that fortunate break of that personal foul. 4th and 13. They're going to punt it away. Aiden Beachy get ready to kick this off. A little into the wind. Beachy with a low liner, and it takes a Scott bounce and rolls out of bounds at the 38-yard line. And once again, Alma starting in field position in Manchester territory. The HCAC website, keep up to date with every school and every sport on the HCAC website. That's heartlandconf.org. It's HEARTLANDCONF.org. Here comes the Scots on offense. Rolling out to the right, and down the sideline is incomplete. He had his man wide open, looking for Zachary Poff.
And if he was able to just take a little bit off that ball, he had him for 6 there. And it'll be interesting to see if Manchester stays in man, because he was clearly well past him.
Another play action. Poff down the middle, and this time he drops it. Carter St. John read the defense perfect there. Able to find one-on-one options for Poff in both passing opportunities. That one just dropped. Now it's a 3rd and 10. Peyton, one thing I did notice last week, and I think you would love this, the Scots were 4 for 4 on 4th downs. So they like to go for it.
And I would be surprised if we saw that here with the 4-down territory maybe coming up, and I do love that. I think every team should go for it on 4th down, no matter where they are.
Derek Dawson, big 99, 5'11", 325 for Indianapolis. Howell takes Williams in his arms and brings him down for no gain. It'll be 4th down. And Carter St. John, the quarterback for the Scots, still out there. Looks like they have enough confidence in their defense to go for it here. 3 receivers to his right, 1 to the left. Williams to his left. St. John swing pass. Can he make a man miss? He gets behind him, and he's tripped up, and he's a little bit short. A great effort by number 15. That's Jamal Hubbard. And they get the defensive stop, a 9-yard gain, but it's not enough.
And as we see here, it's just a little swing pass to Williams, and he's got wheels to be out there. But as we're going to see towards the end of the play, the pursuit and the angle by the defender is what makes this huge stop for them. And 2 huge breaks in a row for Manchester, really, with the penalty giving them the ball back. And now this turnover on downs for them as well. And hopefully off of this, they're able to build with the momentum.
Oh, I would feel a big long pass shot here. I'd take a shot. But a great one-on-one tackle by Jamal Hubbard. He had Eddie Williams one-on-one after that screen pass. He was able to keep him from getting that first down. Spartan ball from the 28. Cheney dropping back to pass, getting pressure, and he'll go down. Sack is made by number 56 for Alma. Jalen Dunwoody, a 6'1", 230-pound senior from Detroit, Michigan. And we just look at that pocket, just collapses. Just awesome pressure by Alma. Second down, we'll call it 17. Cheney back to pass. Looks to his left, throws it out in the flat to Moss Jr. Moss Jr. gets a couple of yards. And it looks like Manchester really just accepting what the defense is giving him, and that's that short pass so far. A 3-yard pass there. Moss has caught all of the passes. It'll be 3rd and 14. Cheney under pressure in the pocket. He's going to go down again. And a sack once more by Alma Scott. Boy, that defensive line. Hunter Sanderson from Perry, Michigan.
And great pressure by that Alma Scott's defense there as they brought a few people on a blitz there. And it just collapsed the pocket completely. And even in the secondary, if you were able to see downfield, everybody was locked up.
Another sack by that defensive line. And the punt barely gets away. Takes an Alma bounce, and it'll stop there at the 37-yard line. So the field position battle has been all in favor of Alma Scott as they've played this game, the majority, on the Manchester side of the field.
They've had great field position here to start, but they've only capitalized on one drive so far.
1st and 10 from the 37. Scott's on top 7-0 on a 6-yard touchdown run by Eddie Williams. And here's the handoff up the middle. A dive play that looks like number 1, Joey Kosterbick.
And just a great fill by number 23, Blake Miller there as the linebacker stepping up in that gap. And as a linebacker, you got to be downhill, and that's exactly what he did.
1-yard gain by Kosterovic. Here's a play, and it's caught. St. Cloud throws it up in the air, and a great catch to number 81. In a jump ball by Nate Webb. And he comes down with it all the way to the 15, and a quick offensive attack again, and he's inside the pylon. Touchdown, or did he step out? They're going to call him out at the 3. And they're going to call a holding, and that'll negate that run by Kosterovic.
And another big break for the Spartan defense, as we've seen the past few drives. The Alma Scots have been able to drive the ball, but penalties and turnovers have really gotten in the way of them being able to capitalize.
So it'll be 1st and 15. And the Ball resting at the 23-yard line. We'll say 1st and 17. St. Cloud, play action, and they missed the slant. Incomplete. It would be a big win, Peyton, if this Manchester defense can hold the Scots to a field goal.
It would be a huge win because this defense has already been playing extremely well, but if they're able to keep making stops like this and just giving the ball back to their offense, it's inevitable that they will eventually find a rhythm offensively.
And the offensive's got to find a way to stay on the field and sustain drives. St. Cloud rolling to his right, lobs one in the end zone. Incomplete. Great one-on-one defense by Javion Davis. And 3rd down, Carter St. John only 2 of 6. As we take a look at the replay, flushed out of the pocket. Nice contest in the end zone. 3rd and 17 from the 23. St. Cloud drops back. Will route, has the running back in the corner. Did he come down with it inbounds? They're going to say a touchdown. Number 9, Jordan Williams.
And Jordan, just a freshman, what athleticism he has there to go up and get the ball at its highest point. And as we're going to see here, he just takes off, and he really jumps up there to go get it. And great job by him by staying in bounds as well.
Jordan Williams with a touchdown. High points, and they're going to go for 2, and they get it. You know, a lot of times you see these formations, and they all go back, but the Scots saw something that they liked, and they hit a quick hitter out here to the right side. And the 2-point conversion by number 48, Mason Tongzana. And Tuzognia scores to make it 15-0 in favor of Alma.
At Morales Group Staffing, we are all about building better futures. And during these times, we are working hard to put people to work. We are now hiring for hundreds of jobs with pay up to $17 an hour. Visit our website at moralesgroup.net or text JOBS, JOBS, to 317-472-7600 to apply now and get hired today.
We encourage you to follow us on Twitter at IndianaSRN. Find upcoming games, video highlights, and much more. Follow us now at IndianaSRN.
A 23-yard touchdown pass from Carter St. Cloud to Jordan Williams, and it puts Alma on top by a score of 14-0 with 4 minutes and 46 seconds left in the Spartan football as they'll start this drive on the 22-yard line. And Peyton, it just seems like on defense there's about 15 Alma Scots out there.
It always seems like that with how fast the pursuit is from defenses like this, and that's exactly what you want. And then when they're getting the ball back, catching people off guard and capitalizing is going to be huge for either team in this game.
Here's a handoff up the middle, a nice spin move by Anserina Smith, and a good positive gain. And a gain of 5 on that play, but there's a flag that came in late. And we'll see what the call is. The officials talk it over. Anserina Smith with a nice gain, the biggest gain of the day so far for Manchester.
After the play, offense. Personal foul, you're going to go half the distance to the goal.
That'll be a personal foul, so a personal foul on the wide receiver there at the end of that play. It's Jordan Barnett. And that'll move 10 yards or half the distance to the goal, so it'll be 2nd and 17 from the 22. or rather not the 22. It's all the way down to the 13-yard line. Here's Cheney keeping it this time, but going nowhere. Bottled up by that defensive line in that play. Jacob Taunton.
And great pursuit by them once again initially, but it was all set up by having a man-on-a-man for this read option offense. As we see there, the defensive end usually always takes the quarterback in the option, and then the outside linebacker typically will have the back. Sometimes you'll have the defensive tackle take the quarterback and the defensive end take the running back. But regardless, they had a hat on a hat there, closing the gap quickly.
Matt Oswald and Evan Mativa in on that stop for the Scots in a 3rd down and 18. Here's a screen pass, caught but going nowhere. Catch is made by number 31, Albert Wallington.
And it looks like their strong safety, Bryce Fredenberg, was there quickly. And they not only have one but two really downhill quick safeties. And that's just a phenomenal job by their defense, not only being downhill just as a whole, but quick to the ball because there's always multiple people in multiple different spots that they need.
Aiden Beachy back to punt. And a high short kick. Takes an Alma bounce. This is going to be a negative punt as Alma's going to have possession at the 9-yard line. Have you ever seen a punt of -5?
I unfortunately saw negative punts when I was on a team one time. I'm not going to name any names, obviously, but when I saw it happen, I was like, oh, boy.
Well, the wind is a factor. And also that pressure may have gotten in the punter's head a little bit. As Beachy punts it, and it's now at the 9-yard line. Here's the
number 26. Williams on the carry, brought down by number 97, Sam Huffman.
Sam Huffman on that tackle. 1-yard run for Eddie Williams. Here's out to the flat, to the tight end again. 81, Nate Webb. And Webb takes it inside the 5. I think they'll spot it at the 3, so a 5-yard gain by Webb. That's Webb's second catch. And it'll be 3rd and goal for Alma. And we have an injured player, so we will take a break here at Spartan Stadium. Alma on top, 15-0.
My name is Brittany. A little thing I love about the egg white grill is the toasty English muffin. It's toasted perfectly. It's just a little crispy, but not like hard crispy, but just crispy enough that when you bite into it, everything is perfect.
My name is Curtis, and I love the egg white grill because the egg itself, it's like soft and fluffy, like a pillow. I wouldn't eat my pillow, but I'd eat the Chick-fil-A breakfast egg white sandwich for sure.
They say nice guys don't finish first. So maybe it's time to reconsider what it means to be first.
It's about being your best, but knowing you could be even better.
It's being present, but respectful of history.
You sure you want to make that move?
It's donating something more valuable than money.
It's believing in yourself and something bigger.
It's coming from different families, but treating each other like brothers.
It's not just being a man, it's being a Mason.
Jamal Hubbard able to come off the field on his own power. Meanwhile, 3rd down, and St. John drives all the way down to the 1-yard line.
And a phenomenal goal line stand here by this Spartan defense. They're really, really showing their grit and just relentlessness here. And they got one more down to do it to keep him out.
2-yard gain by St. John, his first rushing attempt. And it's 4th and 1 Look out as they quickly get out of this huddle and get into their play. Trying to take the defense by surprise. St. John to the right side, and he's in for a touchdown. Carter St. John from 1 yard out. And a touchdown for the Scots with 1:28 remain this first quarter. Will they go for two? This is kind of the formation they had earlier. So that makes the defense kind of honor it. This time they will retreat. And the kick is up and through the uprights. And with 1:28 remain, it's the Scots on top, 22-0.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
Alma kicks off after the 1 yard touchdown run by Carter St. John. And they'll fair catch it and start at the 25-yard line with the Spartans. In this series, last year Alma won this game 49-7, Peyton, and in the overall series lead 5-1. So they definitely have a lot of momentum in recent years.
They got all the momentum on their side, but it is still early in this game, and I wouldn't be surprised if the Spartans maybe come out with some kind of trick play or just a little mix it up a little bit.
Well, mix it up indeed. And into the game is quarterback Eric James, a 5'11 senior from Decatur Central High School in Indianapolis. James hands off, and immediately the defensive line pounces on the running back as Josiah Anserina Smith. It's no gain on that play. Anserina Smith has 5 rushes for 2 yards. Tells you how dominating that defensive line has been.
Extremely dominating, and as we see, they're a little bit quicker off the ball than the offensive line is, freeing up the gaps for the linebackers to flow into.
And if you can bring pressure with those 4 down linemen, that really sets up the back half of your defense. Here's a throw, and the pass is complete, or was it dropped? There's going to say a completed pass to number 10. A nice connection by the Spartans. DeMerck Bellman.
And that'll move the chains, and that's exactly the type of spark that this team needs right now in this moment. And maybe we'll see it in the air a little bit more as they really haven't gotten anything going on the ground.
So DeMarc Bellman, his first catch for 10 yards, and it's a Spartan first down. Eric James. Here's the option in and around. There's Dariel Moss, and a nice 8-yard gain there.
And again, maybe with this up-tempo beat that they got going right now with their offense, quick to the line, quick to get a play out there, may be the exact rhythm that they need to find here.
Well, the Spartans are on the move and look to get some momentum here. They win to 1. Alma on top, 22-0.
Calling officials cheaters or corrupt, it's not a game.
Insulting referees, it's not a game.
Threatening officials, it's not a game.
Berating young umpires, learning the ropes, It's not a game.
Violent language in the stands, it's not a game.
Verbal abuse from the sideline, it's not a game.
Screaming at a referee in the parking lot, it's not a game.
Back here at Spartan Stadium, it's been all Alma for the first quarter, but Manchester inserts Eric James at quarterback, and they get their first down of the game, and they only have a 2nd and 8, so injecting a little of energy is Eric James. He drops back the pass, gets rid of it down the middle, it's caught! Pass complete to number 8. Give that to Peyton Fry.
And what a beautiful throw as he found his receiver Fry just over the top there. He was able to split this cover 2 defense that we're going to see, and that's the danger in the cover 2 or even a cover 3. They're able to find a little gap as we saw there and dump it over somebody's head.
27-yard completion. And it's picked off. Intercepted by Alma. And returned past the 40. There's tons of flags, but Jet King cuts in front of that receiver in that zone defense. And just when the Spartans had some juice, collecting a couple of first downs,
and that linebacker was able to just read that the whole way. He had the receivers if he was able to just get it over him, but he just wasn't able to make it.
First down. Alma will keep the ball.
Alma had the penalty, 15-yard penalty, but it was after the interception, so they'll maintain possession. They've had 3 penalties, but for 40 yards. So their penalties have been one of very big penalties. But they'll start this drive at the 19-yard line. But that's the 2nd turnover for this defense, which they hang their hat on. Carter St. John, back to pass, looks left, has a man wide open, catches it at the 45 and goes out of bounds at the 41. And a 39-yard pickup by Devin Frenchko.
At the Manchester 42-yard line.
And they're quickly at the line of scrimmage. Carter St. John, who was only 2 of 6 early, has connected on his last 3 passes and has found his rhythm. Has Jordan Williams now in the backfield with him to his right. Handoff to Williams. He goes left side, breaks a tackle, and gets close to a first down, but we got a flag on the play.
Number 9, Jordan Williams.
And this may be in the area of holding. It looks like that left tackle may have had a little bit too much of a jersey in his hand.
And Peyton Brown is right again on that holding call. So I'll move the Scots back 10 yards from the spot of the foul.
20 for Alma.
So it'll be first down from the 49-yard line. Here's the handoff to Williams again. Nice little cutback, and gets that lost yardage back. Get a 9-yard gain out of that for Jordan Williams, his first carry. Williams, a 5'9" freshman from Detroit, Michigan. Clarenceville High School. Quickly, he's on the run again. He's going to the right side, one man to beat. Tries to go through him and does, before he's brought down by Javion Davis, but we're quickly to the ball again.
And what a run by Williams there, just to lower his shoulder. Good old-fashioned football there. Man, I haven't seen that in a long time.
Davis with the handoff. This time he's slowed up by that Manchester defense. Sam Huffman making a play as a line change for the Scots.
And as we can see from this run with Williams, he's able just to find a lane and go, and way to finish a play as he lowers his shoulder into the defender to get that few extra yards there.
2nd and goal. Here's the handoff, a big cutback and another flag.
And great play there, but for sure a holding.
Kosterbeck on that run, but it looks like it's going to be a hold. And again, another holding call. If there's one thing that the Scots really haven't done well, it's penalties.
It is penalties, and it looks like it's a common one. If these linemen would just move with their feet, they wouldn't have to hold. And maybe it's just how aggressive the Spartan defensive line is.
We have an injured Spartan down. Tell you about the HCAC Commissioner Cup. The Commissioner's Cup is a rotating trophy awarded to the institution that garners the most overall all sports points. Congratulations to Peyton. Do you have a guess at which HCAC school won the cup last year?
DePaul.
It'll be Rolls-Holman.
Oh,
the Fighting
right
Engineers. The 2022-23 winner of the HCAC Commissioner Cup. Congratulations to the Fighting Engineers, and we look forward to see who wins that cup this year. As fall sports are underway here at Manchester, we have some women's soccer going on. There's volleyball that's out of town, and obviously cross country in season, as well as football. So lots going on here in the HCAC conference. As walking off on his own power as Jatavius Winder. Good sign for him that he's able to walk off on his own power, and the athletic trainer's going to take a look at him. Meanwhile, it's 2nd and 18. 2nd and goal, rather, from the 18. Here's a reverse. They've got it set up nicely, and he's going to pass or he's going to run. He will pass it, and it's broken up. Pass by number 82 on the wide receiver reverse. Was George Kruger. Kind of slow developing play there, Peyton, and a good job on the back end of the Spartan defense.
Great job by the defense to stay home there and stay with their guy. I love the play call. The risk behind it is amazing. But as we saw there, it could have been really, really bad for Alma if the Spartan defender was able to hold on to it.
3rd and 18. St. John back to pass. Gets some pressure. And he stays up, and he's able to hit his tight end for a 5-yard gain. Nate Webb. And 4th down. And with the wind, or what little wind there is now, Alma's going to kick a field goal. Kicker is Josh Hernandez, number 23. Hernandez is a junior, and this will be a 30-yard attempt. The snap is down, the kick is up, plenty of legs, and it's good. A 30-yard field goal with 11:18, and the Scots extend their lead to 25. 11:18 left to go here in the first half. A 30-yard field goal by Joshua Hernandez extends the Alma Scott lead to 25-0. But Peyton Manchester had the ball last possession, was really doing some nice things with it, some quick passing game, getting the ball down the field with Eric James, but interception, kind of what Alma does. As that kickoff goes into the end zone for a touchback. The Spartans will start at the 25-yard line. Let's see if James comes back out or if it's Cheney. Looks like James is in the huddle. Also no Jalen Love for Manchester. He is one of their leading rushers last week. Him and Anserina Smith combined for 67 yards. But it felt like when James was in there, there was a little bit of energy. You feel like he was getting that ball out quick and finding some receivers. So maybe that quick passing game is another option for this offense.
Well, bringing him out and introducing the passing game just with them in general here is going to be key, in my opinion, because Alma has pretty much shut down the run game.
And was it a delay of game penalty, or they're going to call it a timeout? They'll say a timeout. Timeout Manchester. HCAC.TV. Follow your favorite school on HCAC.TV, powered by IndianaSRN, where you always have a front row seat. We take a look at future HCAC broadcasts. Next week, we're back here at Manchester as the Spartans take on Greenville University. So we'll be bringing you that action this week and some other HCAC games from week 2. Some finals. Mount St. Joseph's over Hiram 62-21 in a final as well from Franklin, as you could see on our network. Aurora topped Franklin by a score of 45-30. DePaul was leading Anderson in the third quarter 54-19. And Defiance was leading Adrian 21-17 in the third quarter. Rose-Hulman plays Trine, and Bluffton is also in action later on. 1st and 10 from the 25. And the handoff not going anywhere. It's Anserina Smith.
And again, as we've seen all game here by Alma, and I'm pretty confident that it won't change here in their running game. They're able to contain him, push him back to the linebackers that are flowing into that gap. And as we've seen, again, the pursuit is second to none here.
Well, that can change your defensive strategy, right? I mean, if you're getting pressure and stopping the run with your down 4, then you either bring blitz and play one-on-one on the outside, or you can play coverage. They've been mixing up that strategy very well as the running backs kind of run into each other. Anserina Smith is able to get some positive yards out of that, get back to the line of scrimmage, the original line of scrimmage. A little confusion there with the new quarterback and some different running backs. Spartans trying to find something to get the offense to click. To the sidelines. 10 minutes remain. Plenty of time on the play clock.
And it appears that Alma might be bringing some pressure here. So if the Spartans are planning on passing it here, which I don't know why you wouldn't on 3rd and long, he's going to have to get that ball out quick.
3rd and 10 from the 25. James in the shotgun. Pistol formation. Looks to his right. It's caught and brought down immediately. Catch by number 81 for the Spartans. It's Kenneth Redd.
Kenneth Redd, he's brought down by number 0.
And I love the play call here. It looks like they're staying on the field, 4-down territory. I'm all about that.
Kenneth Redd, number 81, his first catch.
Brings up 4th down and 5 for the Spartans.
And they've changed their mind, Peyton. They're going to bring on the punting unit. So a 2nd and 5. Could be maybe a fake punt here. I don't know, Aiden Beachy has the ability to run. Very athletic kid. This time he gets off a much better punt. Fair caught by the Scots at the 41-yard line, and that's where they'll start this offensive possession.
And Alma's got all the momentum on their side right now, but the Spartan defense really has not played that bad, and they haven't been not disciplined with their play on the field. It's just they've been out there a whole lot.
They've been out there a whole lot, and it seemed like the first quarter was played all in Manchester's side of the field. So you get a short field with this potent offense, and it's a tough order to take on as number 25. Khalil Brown takes it to 10 yards. There's a pass out in the flat, and it's dropped by Brown.
And Brown just turned his head a little quick there. He would have caught it because it hit him right in the numbers, but looking before you catch usually ends in you dropping the ball there.
2nd and 10. Stops the clock with 8:32 here before half. There's the handoff to Brown. He's going to go to the right side. Nice little cutback. And he crosses the 45 down to the 44. A 5-yard gain by Brown. It'll be 3rd and 5 from the Spartan 44. And you got to like the versatility of this Alma offense, Peyton, and how they can go quick, really like ultra fast, or they can kind of slow things down and do the muddle huddle. We have a false start against the Scots.
Alma's got just a very shifty backfield in general, and any of their players seemingly with the ball in open space are quick, but especially, as you pointed out, their backfield, they're able to make a cut on a dime, and then all of a sudden they're 15 yards down the field.
Very fast. Put that foot in the ground, can make a cut. 3rd and 10, here comes some pressure. And St. John has to get it away. 4th down and 10.
And again, great stand by the Spartan defense. The score obviously doesn't really show it, but they're able to get pressure here and force a not timed right throw for the quarterback, causing it to be incomplete, giving the ball back to their offense. And if their offense is able to get something going and find some kind of rhythm, a comeback is possible here because the Spartan defense is staying in this fight.
Give Jalen Grimes some credit there. The defensive lineman found an open gap and really went downhill and attacked the passer. As this punt lands at the 20 and takes a Scott roll. And that'll go dead all the way to the 6-yard line. So not ideal field position, but no points given up by Manchester. And out comes the Spartan offense with 7:29 here in the second quarter, trailing 25-0.
Not an ideal starting point at all for them, but the Spartans can be encouraged by these past few drives, especially defensively, because obviously you have no points scored there. You had 3 on the last one. I think it, if I remember right, was a punt the one before that as well, so they're making a stand. It's just they got to be able to respond and capitalize offensively.
Eric James back out, quarterback. 3 receivers to his right, 1 to the left. And Serena Smith behind him. Here comes a bubble screen outside. Caught and immediately brought down for a 2-yard gain is number 88. On that reception is Jerundry Kirby. And a gain of 2 on that play. James, although has an interception, has thrown for 43 yards. So 2nd and 8. James looks to his left, gets rid of it, finds a nice touch pass over the linebacker. And 81 with the catch. That's Kenneth Red.
And on every pass so far, he's had a little bit of touch to it and a little just ability to drop it in right in that zone when the receiver finds a hole. And like we've already talked about, he is this little electricity for this offense right now.
Throws a nice catchable ball, and it seems like he can throw it with different styles, whether he can put a little heat on it, right, and snap it in there to a smaller window or have some touch. In that case, we saw it there over the linebacker and in front of the defensive back, although the snap goes through his hands, and they'll have to fall on it way back inside the 10. Good heads-up play, though, by Albert Wallington just to fall on that ball. So they'll retreat back to a big-time loss, all the way down to the 8-yard line. And that's worse than a penalty, because the penalty, at least you get the down over. Here's over the middle, and it's a nice completion to number 11. Looks like Justin Abigan.
And a great throw again by this quarterback and Eric James, and something that everyone should notice that he's doing, and maybe exactly why he's so effective, is he stands so confident in the pocket even if there's chaos around him.
10-yard completion to Abiyangi. And it's 3rd and 14. So they get a lot of that bad snap, fumbled snap yardage back. 3rd and 14. Pressure up the middle, and he's got nowhere to go. James will be sacked. And now Alma defensive line has been a huge part of this first half.
They've really set the tone really from the beginning of this game, just with the penetration that they're getting, the gaps they're able to open up for the linebackers. And if they do their job like that, then the defensive backs don't have to worry about getting thrown on.
5'10 junior Aiden Beachy back to kick. He's in his own end zone. Must have a clean catch here. Looks like a lot of Scots at the line of scrimmage, and it goes through his legs. And the low snap through the end zone, that's going to be a safety.
Snap goes out of the end zone for a safety.
And with 3:46, the Scots get a safety and take that lead up to 27-0.
Score is it on a 27, Manchester 0.
The Alma defense records a safety as the snap goes through the punter's hands. Aiden Beachy unable to field it cleanly. The safety gives Alma the lead now up to 27-0, and they'll get the free kick. Beachy will be putting it on the tee as he approaches the ball. Alma will definitely get a good field position again. Across the 35 to the 40, he's got a lane, and a flag comes flying in from the umpire. That was an impressive throw of the flag. He threw that about 20 yards.
He was in his own quarterback tryout.
He went to Manning Passing Academy after that one.
10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down.
I wonder if me and him saw each other at Manning Passing Academy.
Well,
One time I went there.
I'm sure you may have. He chucked that flag a good 15, 20 yards. And if there's one negative for Alma so far, they've got 7. I have them unofficially for 7 penalties for 75 yards. But they'll start on the 35-yard line. St. John swing pass and immediately wrapped up. A nice tackle by Hubbard. Jamal Hubbard on the stop.
And a great read by Hubbard there just to see the quarterback's eyes and where he was looking and where he was going. And he closed the gap really quick. He didn't hesitate at all.
Second down, 13. Here's a wheel route down the sideline and drops it almost in the bucket. Great job by number 3, Yondell Victorino. Got his hand in there to knock it away at the last moment.
And this defense's effort is just really impressive all around. As we can see here, he's able to just get his hand right in between the receiver's hands there and force them to a huge third down.
3rd and 13 from the 32. St. John drops back to pass. Goes deep again. Looking at that one-on-one coverage. Caught down the middle, and it's going to be a touchdown. Big-time pass play from St. John as he gets his 2nd touchdown. 68 yards to Zachary Poff, who dropped a couple of balls earlier. But Peyton, we look here, he didn't drop this one.
He did not, and he just stayed focused on that ball in the air. And it's easy to lose sight of it when there's multiple people around you, but he didn't. He had his eyes on the prize the whole time.
So a big play by the Alma offense. And on for the extra point is up and good. And with 2:52 to go, Alma extends its lead to 34. A 68-yard touchdown pass from St. John to Zachary Poff extends the lead to 34. Carter St. John just put that one in the bucket right over the defender's outstretched hands. We were kind of talking off air, Peyton, and we thought there may have been kind of a broken play. It looked like you had 2 receivers kind of running the same route, those 9 routes, those go routes, but Poff was right there and took it to the house.
It did seem a little busted because they were really close, but I guess they were like, well, we don't care if it's busted. We're still going to take it in.
They're still going to just put their heads down and sprint. And to the house he went. Carter St. John, 8 for 15 for 167 yards and 2 touchdowns through the air. Most of their damage today has been through the air. As here comes the Spartans. Eric James at quarterback. Change was made late in the first quarter to go to James. There'll be a delay game penalty for the Spartans. It's tough to have that penalty and a change of possessions when you're getting your guys organized and in a huddle and ready to go. But 1st and 15 now from the 20. Here's Moss Jr. And the end around, 5-yard game.
And again, the gap is closed really quick from this Alma defense. As we saw there, people are running all across the field, and this game is a game of either you're going to get hit or you're going to hit somebody. So when you're running the ball, it's so important just to lower your shoulder and go through them. But it seemed the Alma defense wanted it a little more there.
Peyton, if you're a Manchester offensive coaching staff, is there a way to use what Alma does on defense against them that you could maybe use that to your advantage, maybe that aggression?
The aggression that they have and how downhill they are, you could easily get behind them with a screen that's set up the right way or some type of play action with how much Manchester has been running. So if they're able to find it in them to do some play action or fake their RPO and throw it to the backside of the field, you don't want to throw it on the same side. You want to look off the safety a little bit, have the corner on the backside fall asleep and dump it over his head. But also those screens would be huge.
Well, a timeout by the Scots to try to get the ball back here and score. As Josiah Anserina-Smith had that last play. He's had 8 rushes for 5 yards. DIII Moss Jr., leading rusher for the Spartans. He has 2 carries for 13 yards. And Dante Cheney, 2 carries for 2 yards. But the passing game has come alive here a little bit in the second quarter. Peyton Fry with a reception for 27 yards. DIII Moss Jr. has 4 catches for 3 yards. To Mark Bellman with 1 catch for 10 yards. So spreading some of the passing game around. Third down and call it 6 from the 29-yard line. Low snap, it's caught. And James moves to his right, eyes downfield, throws it, and that'll be out of bounds. Nice effort by Moss Jr. to come back to the ball.
It will be 4th down and 6.
But it'll be 4th down.
At their own 29-yard line.
And if you're Alma, that's exactly what you wanted. You stopped him on 3rd down, and you also stopped the clock. So Alma has 2 timeouts remaining, minute 49 left. And on comes their special teams unit. Looks like they're going to get some more pressure on this punting game. Beachy fumbles the snap again, and it's partially blocked, and it'll go out of bounds. Beachy's had a tough time today. It'll go out of bounds in Spartan territory. It looks like they'll mark it at the 37-yard line.
At the Manchester 37.
Beachy's had a tough time. He's let a punt go through, or punt's gotten through. He's had one kind of partially blocked there and had a negative punt in the first quarter. So tough day for Aiden Beachy so far.
He's had a very tough day, and I think a few sides of the ball has just had a tough day in general, finding their rhythm and momentum together and individually, and it's what's ultimately biting them here today.
Well, let's see if Carter St. John, new quarterback, is actually in the game. That's number 5, Trent Devereaux.
Pass is complete to number 23, Ryan McNett.
And Ryan McNett gets the catch. Here's a handoff. They just quickly go attacking.
And this up-tempo offense is exactly what put a lot of points on the board for him last week and again this week.
Handoff again. Bounces it up the middle for another first down. First and 10, outside the 11, and the slant pass is incomplete. Devereaux had his man.
Brings up 2nd down and 10.
And it looks like it may have just slipped through his hands, and that's why it's so important to catch the ball away from your body instead of letting it come to you, because it can easily bounce off your chest like it did there.
So 2nd and 10. Devereaux runs to his left, being chased by the Spartans and brought down. A good tackle from behind by number 51, Devontae Moore.
Trent Devereaux on the carry, brought down by number 51, Devontae Moore.
And some
gain of 5 on the play, brings up 3rd down.
5-yard gain, though, by Devereaux. Manchester will take a timeout to collect themselves with 46.5 seconds remain. Look at the schedule upcoming for Manchester. As we said, next week they're home against Greenville. That'll be seen here on HCAC.tv. Week 4 they have a bye. Then week 5 they start conference play, Peyton. They go on the road to Mount St. Joseph, the HCAC preseason number 1 pick. Week 6 they invite Rolls-Home and Fighting Engineers for homecoming. And then week 7, another HCAC conference matchup at Hanover. So play will be starting for them. Meanwhile, for Alma, next week they'll be at Anderson. And then at week 4 at Wittenberg. Week 5, Trine University as they open MIAA play. They're in the Michigan International Athletic Association Conference. Week 6 bye, and then week 7, another MIAA game at Hope College. Third and 5. Ball resting at the 7-yard line. Trent Devereaux into the game. He's a 6'3", 195-pound senior from Oakland, Michigan. Chesaning Union High School. Devereaux gets the snap, fakes the handoff, looks for the slant again. Is it caught? The diving, kind of tripped up catch, but it is a touchdown. A 7-yard touchdown by Trent Devereaux. Let's see who caught the pass. I wasn't sure. I think 81 caught the pass. That's Nate Webb. And Nate Webb now has 4 catches for 43 yards and a touchdown. We see what a catch by Nate Webb on that replay.
What a great catch, because he got a little tripped up, but it takes a certain mindset to stay in the play when things like that happen, and he was able to come down with it for a touchdown.
The extra point attempt is up and good with 40 seconds remaining at halftime. Alma now up by 41.
You're good at making big announcements. We're good at your insurance.
Start with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, online, over the phone, or in person, and stop knocking on wood.
We encourage you to follow us on Twitter at IndianaSRN. Find upcoming games, video highlights, and much more. Follow us now at IndianaSRN. We encourage you to follow us on Twitter at IndianaSRN. Find upcoming games, video highlights, and much more. Follow us now at IndianaSRN.
7-yard touchdown pass, Trent Devereaux to Nate Webb. And the Scots are on top 41-0 as they kick off. Come down inside the 15. It's picked up by the Spartans. Number 21, it's like Garrett Lewis.
Number 21.
Takes it across the 20. Call it the 23. And that's where the Spartan offense will begin. 36.6 seconds. Peyton, I don't really see them doing a whole lot here. Maybe you take a knee or just run a normal play and see if you can get a shot, but
well, you can take one or two approaches to this, and it's either you air it out and try to get something going right before the second half, or you take a knee and go regroup.
Eric James, quarterback. Low snap. Throws it down the sideline, and it's taken. What a catch! LeVar Leisure have a catch. LeVar Leisure crosses midfield and just makes a play, a one-on-one play.
Phenomenal catch here. There was a little contact between the both of them, but he went up and over him to go get this.
James tries the other side. But Leisure with a 29-yard reception. What a catch it was. Now, really, if you're Manchester, you take a couple shots, maybe even try the middle of the field because you have one timeout remaining.
And this Alma defense has really done one of three coverages today. It's been cover 0, cover 2, and cover 3, but they always line up in this cover 2 look. As we're going to see here, it's more of a cover 3 now. But if they're able to split the defenders in any way at all, they can be golden.
James getting pressure, goes to the right. He's got to get rid of it. He does. Just in time as pressure was coming from behind him.
Brings up. Second down.
2nd and 10, 14.8 seconds.
Third down and 10 for the Spartans.
Make that 3rd down and 10 for the Spartans. Ball on the 48-yard line. You got to think with the wind at your back, maybe if you can get inside the 25-yard line, be enough to try for a field goal. Again, you have one timeout left if you're Manchester. James goes to his right, has to throw off his back foot, and a nice catch and completion there by Leisure again. And LeSure will pick up the 1st down. It's a 10-yard gain. Should move the sticks and also stop the clock.
Great smart play to move the chains and get out of bounds, stop the clock, giving them a few more shots here, maybe 1 or 2, hopefully for the Spartans at the end zone.
LeSure with the catch. 9.8 seconds. James a quick one out here to Moss Jr., and he gets to the 35.
Pass complete to Darius Moss Jr.
A short gain of 3. But already we see the difference in the passing attack with Eric James at the helm. .6 seconds. Enough for one more play, and if you get down, you can call a timeout. They do the same play again to Moss. He breaks a tackle and gets out of bounds, they say, with just under a second left. Let's see if Manchester calls a timeout and try to kick a field goal.
Manchester, their last of the half.
A nice 5-yard gain. Same play there, just a quick hitter to Moss Jr.
Thank you.
And they'll add some time. They'll put it up to 2 seconds. Moss Jr. with 6 catches now for 12 yards. LeVar LeSure, though, the big man on this drive, caught a really big 1st down ball as he took it right from the defender's hand. Let's take a look at this play, Peyton.
Yeah, this receiver is able to just make a little bit of a move, and his quarterback airs it out for him, and he goes up and over him aggressively. You can tell that he really wanted that ball.
LeVar LeSure is 6'1" senior from Mount Vernon, Illinois in Wheeler High School. And on to kick the field goal. They're not going to kick a field goal, rather they're going to go for it. 3 receivers left, 1 to the right. Umbrella coverage, prevent defense by Alma as James in the shotgun. He'll step back, Laughlin in the air, and it's going to be intercepted as the clock runs out. And that'll do it for our first half. Alma on top 41-0. If we take a look at the scoring, it looks like this. In the first quarter with 13:06 remaining in the first quarter, Eddie Williams had a 6-yard touchdown run, and the Scots were on top 7-0. With 4:53 to play in the first quarter, a 23-yard pass play from Carter St. Cloud to Jordan Williams. And Alma went up 15-0, or 15-0 rather, on the 2-point conversion. With minute 28, Carter St. Cloud had a 1-yard touchdown run to extend the lead to 22-0. In the second quarter, a 30-yard field goal by Joshua Hernandez. 11-18 left in the second quarter, put Alma on top 25-0. And safety by Alma at 3:46 in the second quarter made it 27-0. The next possession, the Scots were able to hit a 68-yard touchdown pass from St. John to Zachary Poff. The extra point made it 34-0. And then just before half, with 40 seconds, a 7-yard touchdown pass, Trent Devereaux to Nate Webb. And that takes our score to 41-0. Thoughts on the first half, Peyton?
Yeah, Alma's been having everything go their way so far here in this one. They're able to move the ball when they want and where they want it. And Manchester's defense, they're giving a heck of a fight. They've just been on the field a whole lot, and the offense really hasn't been able to find too much of a rhythm. But I would contend that they just come out here, forget about the first half, and air it out and have some fun with it, because their running game isn't going to get them any closer anytime soon. But maybe if you can find some kind of spark with their quarterback Eric James and airing it out a little bit, they'll be able to compete a little bit in the second half.
Well, we're going to take a short break. We come back, we'll have our interview guest. It's Rick Esposette from Manchester University. Alma on top here at halftime with a score of 41-0. Back here at Spartan Stadium as the Spartan Pride Marching Band take the field at halftime. Alma on top 41-0. We're here with our halftime interviewing guest. It's Athletic Director, Coach Rick Esposette. And Coach, thanks for coming up and talking to us. First of all, tell us a little bit about the partnership we have with HCAC TV, powered by IndianaSRN and Manchester University.
Yeah. Well, first of all, it's my pleasure to be here, and we're super excited. This year is the first year we've invested in the partnership with SRN, and we couldn't be happier. You guys do such a good job. 5 of the 6 football games are locked in, and we're hoping we get the 6th one as well. But it just we have a lot of football student athletes that are not from Indiana, and when we were helping those students move in, I would ask, hey, where are you from? And we got Alabama and Georgia and Texas. And I'm like, man, we need to ramp up our stream a little bit. And you guys were available, and so we're excited.
Well, and speaking from personal experience, being here for the HCAC network last winter for the semifinals was really a thrill for not only me, but for our team, and the hospitality at Manchester shows is always second to none. You've been the AD since 2007. Kind of give us a rundown of all your fall sports going on. I noticed when we arrived here this afternoon, you had a soccer game going, some action in softball field. So we know cross country and volleyball is all busy right now. So tell us a little bit about the fall sports.
Yeah, so this is our busiest time of the year, right? So obviously we have football going on, then we move over to soccer. Our men's team is off to a good start. They haven't lost yet. They've won 1, tied 3. Women's soccer is playing currently, right? And they've played some tough opponents, and they're getting better. Volleyball's, I think, 5-1 and they're at Huntington today. Women's tennis and men's tennis are playing. Cross country, right? We never host or generally don't host cross country events, but I mean that's for the last snapshot of 15-20 years, that's been the program that has probably been the most successful. So they're just running fast. Yeah,
that's what they do.
Yeah.
Well, the facilities are awesome. I love your baseball field and the woods behind. I kind of gave them the idea maybe the football team could come out from the woods, from the trees.
Yeah,
that'd be awesome. But the facilities are top notch, and it's awesome to be here. Now, you've been the baseball coach for 27 years.
Yep.
641 wins.
Yeah.
All time.
Yeah.
That's a lot of baseball.
That's yeah. And about 400 and some losses somewhere in there. But yeah, it's over 1,000 games. It's been a lot of fun, and I still really enjoy it.
And that's fantastic. And 6-time Coach of the Year, that tells me that you've had some really good teams to have that many wins and to have that success. That's a reflection of you and your coaching ability. And I know as a teacher and a coach, it's those relationships that you have with those players that really extend beyond the baseball field.
Yeah, good players make good coaches. It's that simple, and we just try not to mess them up. Give them space to be themselves, get comfortable. We think we play hard, but just want to give them the freedom to play and enjoy it and compete. I've been fortunate to have coach a lot of good student athletes, work with a lot of good assistant coaches, and so it's been fun.
If there was another sport that you would coach, what would it be?
Tennis.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you play tennis back in the day?
Not at all.
No.
Not at all.
Just seems pretty relaxed.
Yeah, it's pretty relaxed. Here's why, right? You play in great weather.
Yes.
You never get rained out.
Or indoors.
Right? There's no officials to deal with. Right? There's a lot of character building in that sport. So, yeah.
That's a great answer. Well, we have a common friend, and I did kind of pick his brain on a few things.
All right.
He told me to ask you about basketball. There was a famous basketball coach here at Manchester in the 90s named Steve Alford, Hall of Famer and gold medal winner and national champion. He said there was a basketball story with you and Steve Alford, or maybe playing during that time.
Yeah. So I'm guessing this is what it's about. So when I came here when I first got here, they would play 3-on-3 basketball. So it was the same 6 guys all the time. Well, one of them was our president, who had just left, so I just happened to be here at the right time, right? So I was always on Steve's team, and he did not like it when I shot the basketball. He would look at me and say, "Know your role," and then you motion to pass it.
Pass or screen.
Even if I made it, he said, "I know you made it, but that's not your role."
Well, and Matt also said that even when you coached baseball, you were very innovative and you weren't afraid to try some trick plays. And Matt was someone that even we've talked about off air, how he would always be in the zone. And he told me, he said one time, Coach told me the first pitch is to throw it halfway up the backstop.
Yeah, I don't remember that, but I can. Yeah, that's a story my dad used to tell, right? In Little League, the hardest thrower in the league, right? Everybody was afraid of them. And then if you're throwing hard at 12 years old and you're a little wild,
you got an advantage.
Put one in the backstop, and kids are just want to see 3 pitches and get out.
That's Ricky Vaughn, right?
Yeah,
From Major League, a little wild thing. That's
funny.
Great. Yeah. So he told me that, and he also mentioned, he said, ask him about the moped.
Oh, yeah. I owned a moped for a while. Yeah.
And I can relate because my birthday was in August, and so all my friends had their driver's license before I had my driver's license. And so here I was driving to practice on a moped because my parents both worked till 4 or 5 o'clock. It wasn't like, we didn't. My mom didn't stay at home, and she had to work, and so I was a moped guy.
Yeah, no shame in that. I grew up in Minnesota. At 15 years old, you could drive a moped. So got the freedom at 15, and then when so it wasn't the original moped, but my dad found a moped that.
Do you get the itch to get one? Get it and buy another one?
I do, but
I do too.
Yeah,
it's in my blood.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, hey, we appreciate your time that you spent here with us, and like we said, we're so grateful to be have that partnership with Manchester University in the HCAC conference, and look forward to coming back here next week. I know we're here against Greenfield. Yep. And hopefully we can make it back for many more, and I appreciate you stopping by. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for being here.
Halftime here at Spartan Stadium, and the score is Alma 41, Manchester 0. We'll come back with some stats and some other scores around the league. It's HCAC TV on IndianaSRN.
I'm actually a 5th-generation student here at Manchester. All 4 of my grandparents went to Manchester. Both of my parents went to Manchester as well. I followed in the footsteps of my older brother as well in coming here. And that's kind of been a fun tradition to hear everybody's stories from Manchester while also making my own memories here. I didn't originally want to go to Manchester due to how close it was to home. But I toured here first, and I really loved this warm, inviting campus where people would open doors for you. And people would stop on the sidewalk and catch up for 5 to 10 minutes. And when I was looking at other schools, I really missed that opportunity, that feeling of being at home. I realized that Manchester is really where I fit in and where I belonged. My 2 pieces of advice would be to get involved really early on. There are a lot of great clubs on campus and organizations to be a part of. You get to find people who are like you and enjoy the same interests and activities as you, and it's a chance to grow as a person and to make a great group of peers and community and friends around you. My other piece of advice would be to travel abroad. Manchester has this really unique tradition with our January term classes, and that's been probably one of my favorite experiences I've ever had here. And I've had the awesome opportunity to travel off campus 3 times. I'm signed up right now to go on the Hawaii cross-cultural class. That's actually a fun one for me because that's a class that my grandfather started, traveling to Hawaii to learn about the different cultures there in cross-cultural psychology. So I'm really hoping it gets to go, but if it doesn't, I'm sure I'll still get to learn about cross-cultural psychology and go to Hawaii at some point in my life. Another one I went on was a medical practicum to Guatemala, and that was a life-changing experience. We went with 10 to 15 healthcare providers to a rural area in Guatemala that doesn't get healthcare on a yearly basis. And so it was amazing to see these healthcare providers provide care in an up-close and personal view. My mom, Lori Zimmerman, was also a part of the medical practicum. Most kids get to visit their parents on the Take Your Kid to Work day. And I've never gotten to see her work until we were in Guatemala, and I got to work with her for a day. And that was really interesting to see the impact she has on people, see the tenderness as she works with people, but also the intelligence as she's running through her head, all the different diagnoses it could be, the best way to present information. It's really interesting to see how she uses her liberal arts Manchester education to apply the psychology as well as the communication she's learned with her medical advice and her experience. So that was a life-changing experience to be able to really immerse myself into the field of healthcare.
Welcome back to Manchester University. Halftime between Manchester and Alma. And I'd like to thank again our halftime guest, Rick Esposette, athletic director and baseball coach here at Manchester. And just overall a good guy for a great interview. Thank you to him. And now to my partner, Peyton Brown, who's going to give us some halftime stats. Peyton.
And here is how it's looking after the first half. They score Alma 41, Manchester 0. First downs, Alma 11, Manchester 7. Rushing yards, Alma 13 attempts for 48 yards, Manchester 17 for negative 25. Passing yards, Alma 165, Manchester 109. And then some personal player stats. Alma, we have Joey Kostrubiak.
That's good. Good job. It's a tough one to say.
It's a tough one. Two carries for 17 yards. Eddie Williams, 4 for 11. Jordan Williams, 3 for 11. Khalil Brown, 1 for 5. And then Manchester's Duriel Moss Jr., 2 for 14. Dante Cheney, 4 for 9. Eric James, 1 for 0. Passing, Carter St. John on Alma's side, 10 for 18, 147 yards, 2 touchdowns. His longest throw was 68 yards. Then we have Trent DeVraux, 2 for 3, 18 yards, 1 touchdown. 11 was his longest. Then Manchester, we have Eric James, 10 for 15 for 119 yards. Dante Cheney, 5 for 6, negative 10 yards. And lastly, we will look at our receiving. We have Nate Webb on Alma's side, 6 targets, 4 receptions, 33 yards, 1 touchdown. Eddie Williams, 3 targets, 3 receptions, negative 6 yards. Jordan Williams, 2 targets, 2 receptions, 59 yards. Zach Poff, 3 targets, 1 reception, 68 yards. And lastly, Manchester's receiving Duriel Moss Jr., 10 targets for 6 receptions, 1 yard. LeVar Leisure, 2 targets, 2 receptions, 39 yards. Kenneth Red Jr., 3 targets, 2 catches, 19 yards. Peyton Fry, 2 targets, 1 reception, 27 yards.
There you have it for the first half stats as the teams are starting to come back out and get loose and ready for the second half action. We're going to take a little break. We'll come back and talk about some keys to the first half and what Peyton thinks each team needs to do as we head into the third quarter of action. Alma on top here at halftime at Manchester by the score of 41-0.
From warehousing to transportation and everything in between, Piper Logistics does it all. Centrally located, Piper Logistics has 2 warehouses in Indianapolis and a warehouse in Cincinnati, Ohio. Piper Logistics houses over 1 million square feet. Along with our transportation department, we can provide service to half the United States markets.
We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, IndianaSRN. Hit the bell to get notifications for upcoming games and more. Watch as many games as you want, as many times as you want.
Welcome back to beautiful sun-kissed Spartan Stadium. Just a gorgeous day for football here in week 2 of NCAA action. HCAC Network, powered by IndianaSRN, Clark Chafin, Peyton Brown, along with Nick Lewis and Justin Griffiths. And we're happy to bring you this action as both teams coming out on the field and getting loose. The wind's still a little bit of a factor as you take a look at the flag. Probably about a 15-mile-an-hour wind blowing from your left to right on the screen. And Peyton, we talk about the stats there, and Alma obviously is in our pregame leading the country in takeaways and turnovers. Had 3 first-half turnovers with a fumble recovery and 2 interceptions. Led him to some short field and good field position, offensive attack through the air. Carter St. John, 167 yards, and Trent Devereaux has 17 yards. So those two quarterbacks really getting it done. What are kind of thoughts on the first half, and what changes do you think each team might have as we enter the second half of this contest?
Well, I would suspect that Alma would change probably absolutely nothing because they have been able to do whatever they want, whenever they want. They have been very dominant in this one. Maybe just cleaning up little things like mental errors and holding penalties and stuff like that, so they're able to capitalize more and really pull away in this one. And if we're Manchester, we're looking to find, like we talked at the beginning of the game, looking to find a rhythm. We still haven't found a rhythm, so to speak, on offense. They've had a few breakout plays with putting in Eric James at quarterback for them. They've found some life in some of his throws, but building off of that, as we saw one drive, it was capped with an interception of his, and then they weren't able to punch it into the end zone at the end of the half. So if they're able to build off of his passing game, maybe they can set up the running game that they're desiring.
Yeah, Eric James definitely came in there into their first quarter to the second quarter and brought some life. Had 107 yards or 108 yards rather passing, a couple of interceptions, but you definitely saw the ball move down the field. And for a team that has yet to put any offensive points on the board, you got to think that's probably a goal in this second half, is to somehow either kick that ball through the uprights or get across that goal line and get some points on your side of the scoreboard. Meanwhile, Alma probably going to be able to play a lot of players here in this second half. And they travel a lot of players that make the trip. As we're underway here in the third quarter. Kick taken up to about the 30-yard line. So we'll start the third quarter with good field position for the Scots. Returned by number 4, Ish Abdul Aziz. Returns it all the way to the 30. And let's see who comes out for quarterback for the Scots. Both, I think Devereaux's out there. He came in there at the end of the half. Devereaux will keep it to the left side, being chased by pursuit, and a nice tackle by the Manchester defensive lineman, number 97, Sam Huffman. Senior brings him down from behind for a minimal 3-yard gain.
And great pursuit by Huffman, too, not giving up on that play, because sometimes as a D lineman you slow up because there's people that may be faster than you, but he just kept running, so it could be a minimal gain.
There's a nice run and powers through the tackles is number 25, Khalil Brown. Brown, and they're going to give him a first down, a 7-yard gain by Brown.
And as we can see here, he's able, again, as we talked, to be elusive, find a hole, cut, and just run over the defender to get that first down at the end of the play here. And as Alma keeps doing and keeps running the ball, I'm not surprised. They're probably trying to milk the clock a little bit, but they're still high tempo with their offense.
2 back-to-back 7-yard gains by Khalil Brown. Brown is a 5'8" freshman from Birch Run, Michigan. Birch Run High School. Also checking in the game is a new center for the Scots. That's Colburn Zwart. Devereaux back to pass, gets pressure, and it will fall incomplete. Hubbard on the pressure there from the Spartans. Jamal Hubbard from his linebacking position. He creates a third down opportunity at the Alma 47-yard line.
You know, wouldn't be surprised if we see an inside or an outside zone here to keep the clock moving, but also to push forward.
Devereaux drops back to pass, looks to his left, has the halfback out in the flat, and a safe pass, and it's completed to Brown. And a first down, 5-yard pass there by Devereaux to Brown. Play action. Devereaux kind of slips as he gets to his back foot, flips it over to number 82 out of the backfield. and dragged down all the way to the 25. Gage Kruger with a nice catch by Kruger as Devono flips it over the defense. Little Patrick Mahomes there. There's the handoff to Brown. First down.
If we're Manchester on defense, at this point, I don't see why we're not bringing the house, because obviously you need to take away this run game. But we've seen that Devereaux doesn't throw too great under pressure.
Williams in at running back, Jordan Williams. And he'll get the pitch, and he'll go down. Change that. That's number 0. I couldn't tell if it was a 0 or a 9. That's John Allen. And nice stop by the Spartans, negating that first down play. It'd be 3rd and 11 from the 26. Here's the play action. Devereaux looks left. He's going to the end zone, has a man wide open, and it's a touchdown.
And great job by Devereaux to just find his receiver there. In that open zone, he created a little bit of space between the defensive back, and he was able to just walk in there.
Number 82, Gage Kruger, with a 26-yard touchdown reception. And on for the extra point are the Scots. Josh Hernandez, the junior, has a 30-yard field goal and another extra point added to his total. And it's up and good as we see this replay. Peyton, tell us what you see.
Yeah, he's able to just find his receiver, create space between that defensive back, and air it up to him. And he had all the time in the world to throw it. As we can see here, no one was really on him, and maybe it was just a busted coverage in his zone defense there. But regardless, great offensive play by the Alma Scots.
We'll take a break, come back, and be Manchester ball when we return. A 26-yard pass play from Trent Devereaux to Gage Kruger with 11:37, and extends the Alma lead to 48-0 as the squib kick goes out of bounds. And that'll be good field position for the Spartans. You know, one thing we've kind of talked a little bit off air, Peyton, this Manchester offense and defense, both, the defense really has, I know it scores 48-0, but they haven't played bad. And, certainly this offense is got to get some confidence, sustain drives. And you feel like they have when you've seen, in game 1 we saw improvement in the second half, and we've seen improvement from the first quarter to where we are now within the game. But, you want to reward those kids for the hard work, for all the week they put in, and the film study and the weights and so forth, by getting on the board and showing what they're working on is really working.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. It's just a matter of finding a rhythm again. The defense is relatively found. They're just on the field all the time, which is a detriment to them.
There's a quick pass out to Moss Jr. He crosses the 40 to the 42, a good 7-yard gain from James DeMoss Jr.
Number 4, Greg DeMoss Jr. on the reception, brought down by number 35, Preston Harlan.
Moss's 7th catch. Most of his catches, though, have been around the line of scrimmage and trying to get him some space to run in. Second down, call it 3. Another pass to Moss Jr. This is a little too wide. We'll bring up 3rd down and 3. It's hard to run up the middle against this Scots team, and it's also difficult to go sideline to sideline and spread them out. Got to just try to find some gap.
Yeah, it's been very difficult to run regardless against this Alma Scots defense, but where Manchester has been successful is in deep throw, mid-range to deeper throws down the middle, and maybe a little over in the corner, maybe even hook range on this offense. So if I was Manchester, I'd be looking in those types of zones because everything else relatively has been shut out.
And a pass is behind the line of scrimmage, so it's going to be called a fumble and picked up by the Scots, number 35, with the scoop and score. Preston Marlett, 6'1" sophomore, had the awareness to realize that that pass was behind the line of scrimmage. He picks it up. As you see, James throws it from about the 39, and he picks it up around the 30 and walks in. And with 10:47, fourth turnover for the Scots defense. The extra point is up and good, and with 10:47 remain, Alma on top 55-0.
Your hauling or moving project has arrived, and College Hunks Hauling, Junk, and Moving has you covered. Honest. Uniformed. Nice. Knowledgeable. Service. College Hunks Hauling, Junk, and Moving.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
Scots kick off after another touchdown. Returned by Anserina Smith for Manchester. He crosses the 20. Call it the 22-yard line is where Manchester will begin this drive.
It looks like there's a flag down. That ref was showing off his arm strength again, and he threw it all the way from this opposite 40.
Tell you, he's stepping into it.
He's stepping into it and showing how those curls are really affecting him. I wonder what he bench presses.
Unnecessary roughness. It'll be half the distance of the goal. Manchester has done a better job of limiting their penalties today's game. Last week they had 13. I have them unofficially for 5 penalties right now, so one of the areas that they've cleaned up. No offensive false starts from their wide receivers at this point. And Manchester is going to call a timeout. HCAC academic athletes. The Heartland takes academics very seriously. Our athletes each must maintain a 3.5 grade point average. Each year, over 1,000 student athletes carry at least a cumulative 3.5 GPA and are named to the HCAC All-Academic Team. HCAC academic athletes, congratulations to those past recipients of those awards. 1st and 10, ball on the 11-yard line for Manchester as they start this drive. Eric James still in at quarterback. There's the handoff up the middle. And Serena Smith, nice gain of about 4 yards. Up to the 15.
Not a bad gain there. He's able to get behind his offensive line and get a few yards there to split the chains in half for him.
2nd down and 6. Moss goes in motion. Quickly to the outside, and a big-time break on the ball was that linebacker for Alma, Cam Jarrett. Freshman from Oxford, Michigan. Read the eyes of James and almost intercepted that.
And he was just in a quarterback spy mode the whole time, and his quickness to get out of the flats is honestly rare from a linebacker position, because sometimes linebackers are beefy, but they're really slow. But he's able to get out there and almost get a pick.
Quick first step there by the linebacker. And again, Cam Jarrett, 5'10", 215-pound freshman. And there's another pick. This time it goes to number 5, Jamarte Hogan. And he'll have the pick 6 at Panera.
And maybe a little bit of miscommunication there. But Jamar is not complaining at all, as we can see. He says, thank you.
21-yard interception return for a touchdown. 2 scoring touchdowns by the Alma defense. And an extra point attempt away. Kick is up, and it is good. And Alma extends their lead to 62-0.
You're good at keeping the car clean. We're good at your insurance.
Start with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, online, over the phone, or in person, and stop knocking on wood.
So I stopped in at Chick-fil-A for lunch and saw Officer Wilson come in. I decided to place a dine-in mobile order and have a cookie delivered to him just to show appreciation for his service for our community.
A few minutes later, I noticed that Officer Wilson had gotten up and left, and I knew he hadn't gotten his cookie yet.
I'm headed to my car. I turn around and I see Allie, and she's running after me.
Mr. Police Officer, Mr. Police Officer.
Usually when someone yells, officer, officer, they want to ask me about a ticket they got. I absolutely wanted the cookie. This cookie is delicious.
22-yard interception return for a touchdown by Jamante Hagan. Extends Alma's lead to 62. And Manchester will take over as the kick goes out of bounds. One thing that Alma has had, the only thing, I guess, that's really plagued them today has been the penalties. But with 62 points on the board with 10 minutes left in the third, things seem to be going pretty well for the Scots.
Just a little above average for them.
And getting a lot of guys reps, building that team depth chart. Moss in motion. James on the handoff. And taken down is number 31, Albert Wallington. Loss of 1 by Wallington. It'll be 2nd and 11. Moss in motion. They hand it to him. He cuts upfield. A 3-yard gain by Duriel Moss. Gives him 16 yards on the ground. And he's had 7 catches, so definitely the playmaker Manchester has wanted to get the ball in open space is Duriel Moss Jr. He's a 5'11 junior from Homestead, Florida. That's one thing Coach Esposette said was that you got a lot of players from all over the country, and we're happy to be here at Indiana SRN and HCTV. As the pass is caught, will they say he caught it or incomplete? I thought one official was marking down and the field judge marking incomplete, as he didn't maintain possession through the catch is what they're calling. Peyton Fry in the middle of the zone had his hands on it as he hit the ground. We take a look here. Peyton.
He just wasn't able to hang on to it at the end here, but they went back to what's working again, like we mentioned, over the middle of the field here. And I don't know, he may have held on to it, but it's all about letting go of it there at the end of it that initiated the incomplete call from the refs.
Hard to see if he was coming to the ground, if he was bobbling that ball or not. Beachy with the punt. Angles it to the right, and it's going to go out of bounds at the Alma 46-yard line. So Alma will have it 1st and 10 from their 46.
I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a lot of runs here to finish this one out by Alma to really just get a grips and get a hold of perfecting their run game, as they have a huge lead here.
We'll say the 45-yard line is where the Scots will take over. Trent Devereaux has been the quarterback for the last couple of possessions. Different quarterback this time, as it's number 2, Davin Reef. Reef is in on a Reef is a 5'8 junior from Frankenmuth, Michigan. 2-yard run. Maybe 2nd down. Call it 7. Give him 3 on the carry. And big time hit and pressure.
In great pursuit there, again, like we've talked multiple times here with Manchester on offense, the read option has specific reads for the defenders if they're on offense, but also as the defenders, they have to key on one or the other, and they did a perfect job there. As we saw, the end just went and hit the quarterback while their running back was able to be keyed on and taken down as well.
Justin Major in on that tackle for a loss of 2 on Brian Morgan, the running back. It'll be 3rd and 9. Back to pass. It was going to be a little wide as Reef on the throw. It'll be 4th down and 9, so a 3 and out for the Manchester defense.
Ball almost hit the ball boy on the sideline.
They had it. Well, you got a couple of guys in fluorescent shirts down there. Maybe that could have been his target. Good pressure by the Manchester defense. 4th and 9. The Scots are going to punt it away. Bryce Kempf, who's a 6'5 senior from Traverse City, Michigan, will be in to do the punting. There's a flag on the play. High kick. Moss Jr. lets it bounce. And the Scots will down it around the 16-yard line, but let's see what the flag is.
It looked like it may have been a holding as someone was really, really grabbing onto someone's jersey there.
So if you're Manchester, do you make them? A lot of times, a lot of teams make them re-kick, so they have to run down and maybe take a step slower in that pursuit.
I'd make them re-kick because they'd be punting into the wind here.
You got to think, starting from the 16, maybe get some better field percentage. Also an opportunity to get the ball in the hands of Dariel Moss Jr. So
5-yard penalty. They will re-kick the ball.
Illegal formation.
So illegal formation was a 5-yard penalty. So that'll back the Scots up 5 yards, and the Spartans will make him re-kick, and I like that thought process.
Penalty brings up 4th down and 14 for Alma.
4th and 14
41-yard line.
From the 41. The Scots will punt it again. Moss Jr. back to receive at his 24-yard line. Punts up and away. Fair catch by Moss Jr. Goes through his hands. Picked up, and they can't advance that. But another turnover. That's now 6. And picked up by Ish Abdul Aziz. Collects it. And Alma will have possession, 1st and 10. As the referees talk it over, we see the instant replay there. Picked it up around the 23-yard line.
And that is not ideal.
So Alma will take over at the 24-yard line. With Davin Reef at quarterback. To his left is Cameron Cole. Reef looks to the left. Ball's in the air. And a great individual play by number 6, Dave Paul, senior from Detroit, Michigan. Got his hand up there. Came down a little gimpy.
Brings up 2nd down and 10.
He'll go to the sideline. It'll be 2nd down and 10. .6:42 remain. Alma puts the ball in the air again. This pass is completed to number 36, Dominic Overway.
Pass is completed to number 36 to Dominic
A minimal gain. There's a big cheer up from the Alma team. Someone in the game that they're really maybe a Rudy kind of situation, Peyton.
Something like that. I believe one of their buddies just went in there.
Good opportunity for them to get in the game when they worked so hard throughout the week. And false start on, or offsides rather, on about 4 players for Manchester. That'll be a free 5 yards and make it a 3rd and 3. .558 here in the 3rd quarter.
Brings up 3rd down and 2, 3rd down and 3 for Alma.
Cheerleaders still giving it their all. They've done a great job in this little shade of the press box.
And that's the ideal spot to be in this situation. And I think there were more freshmen that just came in the game, which is a great opportunity for them.
3rd and 3. Here's the handoff. Cameron Cole dives forward. Might be a little bit short by a half yard or so. And they'll say 4th down. They'll call it 4th and the long one, 4th and 2.
Third gain in the play, 4th down and 2.
4th down. You'd think the Scots will keep going for it and just keep running the ball.
Keep running the ball, or we could see them try to make them jump off sides like they did just a few plays ago.
Well, here they come in their quick speed formation. And a big play by
huge play
Manchester. That's number 6 jumping in there again. Dave Paul shooting the gap and bringing him down in the backfield for a loss and a change of downs. Look at this play here, Peyton.
And he just shoots the gap and reads where the running back is going to go there. And low man wins. We hear it all the time in football. And he was a lot lower there as he dove. It looked straight at his knees and was able to get the stop there.
Nice play by Paul. 2 really good plays by him in that set of downs. And a turnover on downs. We'll give the ball back to the Manchester University Spartans with 4:45 in the third. See if the Spartans can get on the board. Here's the handoff to Moss Jr. over to the left side. He's able to get some positive yards on first down. 3-yard gain by Moss Jr.
Hogan. Gain of 2 on the play, 2nd down, 8 for the Spartans.
A 2nd down, the clock continues to run. James at quarterback. There's the handoff, not much room up the middle.
And it looked like he was going to get caught in the backfield there, but as their running back, he just put his foot in the ground and got what he could there and made something out of nothing.
Wadlington is that handoff. And gain of 2. Be 3rd and 5. 3 receivers right, 1 to the left. Quick out to Peyton Fry. But no gain on the play. It will be 4th down. And out comes the punting unit for the Spartans, Aiden Beachy. And actually a new punter into the game. This is Matthew Mason, the senior from Mount Blanchard, Ohio. Mason comes in for his first punt of the 2023 season, catches it clean, and end over end kick that does not get a friendly roll. It'll be down at the Manchester 39-yard line.
If you're Manchester in this situation, you're just looking to finish strong because obviously having a game that doesn't go your way isn't comfortable to be in, but you always want to finish strong what you do start. And if you're Alma, you're just trying to get this clock ticking away.
Davin Reef still at quarterback. 2 receivers left, 2 to the right, man in motion. Here's a draw right up the middle. And a big gain by number 35.
And a great run there. He found the hole. He made a cut, and he just went. And he's able to get a huge gain there, advancing them almost into the red zone here.
Josiah Murphy on the carry. Gain of 15 for Murphy. Back at it. Here's the handoff up the left side. And tackled out of bounds is Murphy again. Josiah Murphy, a 5'11 sophomore from Freeland, Michigan. He's able to gain some good back to the line of scrimmage. Good play there by the Manchester D. Give him a 1-yard gain. 2nd and 9. Murphy up the middle again. Past the 20, down to about the 17.
Murphy on the carry, brought down by number 23, Blake Miller. Gain of 5 on the play brings up 3rd down and 4.
3rd and 4 from the 18-yard line. Murphy down to the right side this time, breaks a tackle, but there's going to be a flag on the play thrown by the umpire. We'll see what that is.
35, Josiah Murphy on the carry, brought down by number 37.
Could be another holding penalty.
And it is. The holdings have really been getting to them today. They've had quite a few.
Is that something like in basketball where if a team presses and always fouls, like a referee can't always call a foul every play, so sometimes they get away with it? Is that similar like with a holding where if it's kind of a technique thing that they can't call holding every play or
well, no? In basketball, I'm not sure because I always fouled out, so I was never in the game. But in football, I know it's all having to do with your feet, and if the more you move your feet and pick your feet up, the less likely you are to hold. But when you start lunging is when you start grabbing.
Out chased out of the pocket is Reef. He's going to make something out of nothing, go all the way down to the 15-yard line. And what a great effort. It's going to be 4th and 1. As Reef scrambles around the right side. With about 15 seconds remaining, they're going to let this clock run down. That'll end the 3rd quarter. It'll be 4th and 1 when we return to Spartan Stadium. Alma on top big.
Myers, Vice President of IndianaSRN. Thanks for joining us. You know IndianaSRN broadcasts 350 games a year, all sorts of sports. Yeah, we do. Hard to believe, isn't it? IndianaSRN loves to put student athletes first on our website. If you're a business out there, we probably could help you too. Contact us at coach@indianasrn.org. Grandma from out of state thanks you. Mom and Dad who can't get to the game thanks you as well. In fact, our athletes watch the games over and over again. Our military has enjoyed the games as well. So sit back and enjoy the game. It's IndianaSRN.
Welcome back to Manchester University. As we're getting ready to start the 4th quarter, their 3rd quarter was all Alma Scots. 2 defensive touchdowns, 3 more turnovers to add to their total. That's now 6 they've collected in the game. And Alma has the ball on the 4th and 1 from the Manchester 15-yard line. Chains are getting organized as we get ready to start the 4th quarter. Let's see if a Manchester defensive player can step up and make a big play. Dave Paul did it last possession. And Jamal Hubbard has been in the backfield as well as Sam Huffman, who's made some great plays. Let's see if the line can stiffen. Here's the handoff. And up the middle is number 35, Josiah Murphy. And he'll get enough to get the first down. As we see this push here, as it takes it to the left, the pulling guard and tackle Takes it all the way down to the 12-yard line, so the Scots can still get a first down without scoring a touchdown. And Murphy on the handoff, straight up the middle.
And as suspected, we're seeing a lot more runs now just to tick away at the clock and take some time off as they are up in a very, very manageable way here.
Gain of 1 for Murphy, 2nd down and 9. And if you're the Scots, you're probably going to, your intention is to snap that ball in under 5 seconds in the play clock. Murphy gets the handoff. Met in the backfield again by number 15, Jamal Hubbard.
And Jamal Hubbard has been all over the field today, and you got to appreciate, like we've said before, Manchester's defense's fight in this game and just resilience not to give up, because it's easy to when you're down this big, but people like Jamal Hubbard are exactly why it's so important to have those leaders by example on your team.
3rd down, and the quarterback keeps it this time, goes left, spins and whirls all the way down to the 2-yard line. He looked like he was in a roller coaster ride.
He went on a merry-go-round, and he forgot where he was there for a second.
He must have spun 3 or 4 times before he was brought down. And it looks like it's 4th down and 1.
Got the spins and almost got the first down.
I think that's really close. They've got it spotted at the 2. I thought this drive started at the 12. Maybe got a half yard to go. 4th down, we'll call it a half a yard. 4th and 1. And a timeout. Why sponsor HCAC TV and IndianaSRN? Well, for one, it's exposure. You can gain visibility among our dedicated audience. Community engagement. Show your commitment to our cause. There are customizable packages that we can tailor sponsorship options to meet your needs. For more information on being a sponsor and your sponsorship opportunities to discuss how we can help each other, please reach out to us at coach@IndianaSRN.org. Again, that is coach, C-O-A-C-H, at IndianaSRN.org. And just a reminder also, next Saturday, Manchester will take on Greenville. That'll be here at Spartan Stadium, 3rd week in a row. We're excited to bring you Manchester coverage. Spartans will look to regroup after week 1 and week 2. As it's 4th down and 1 from the 2. Inside handoff, I don't think he got it. A good push by the Manchester defense, and they're going to hold him short. And a big win for the Spartan defense as they hold it on downs. Looks like number 4, Javion Davis, the 6'2", 175-pound junior out of Marion High School in Marion, Indiana, wraps his arms around those feet, prevents Josiah Murphy from getting the yard to gain.
Davis, Dave Paul, and Jamal Hubbard have been 3 players who have just been all over the field on defense for Manchester today. Despite what the scoreboard shows, they are committed to giving 4 full quarters to their team.
1st and 10, ball on the 2. Quick pass out to Moss as he gets out of the end zone.
Pass is complete to number 4, Moss Jr.
No gain on the play, 2nd down.
Loss of 1 on the play, brings up 2nd down.
2nd and 10 from the 2. Cameron Hovey checks in as another running back for Manchester. Clock running down. Here's the handoff. Gets through the first line of defense.
Ball was carried by number 31, Albert Waddington.
Waddington was able to give him a little bit of breathing room. 5-yard gain by Albert Waddington.
He's thankfully able to find a hole there on what seemed to be a crashing offensive line down. But he's able to sneak through and give him more of a shot here on third down.
Yeah, gave him a little breathing room. Waddington's a 5'9" freshman from Evansville Harrison High School, Evansville, Indiana. Little out route. It's caught, and is it enough for a first down? Up to the 14. It should be.
He got just enough there, and right before that play happened, he gave a little signal to him on a hot route there, and it ended up working out in their favor.
First down. Kenneth Redd, his third catch of the game. And Eric James trying to move the Spartans down the field. One-on-one coverage. This is picked off. The fourth interception for James. Picked off by number 22.
And phenomenal coverage there for that Alma Scots defense. And he had his receiver open. He didn't get quite enough into it.
Big interception by the Scots, and they'll take over again. Fourth interception. For James, but you can't fault James. He's trying to make a play. They had a one-on-one opportunity there. They've had success earlier when at the end of the first half where they were driving the ball and just hoping his guy can make a play there. And the play was made by the Alma Scots. 10 minutes left to go in this contest. 2nd and 7. There's a handoff to the left-hand side, and another new quarterback in for Alma. This is Chris Edwards, number 15. The fourth quarterback used for Alma. Chris Edwards, a 6-foot senior. I tell you, looking at that sideline, Alma has a Division I traveling squad that they bring with them.
They got plenty of people over there, and it looks like they, got 4 football teams in one standing over there.
Nice tackle by Hubbard to make it fourth down. Hubbard's been all over the field. Coach Hunt talks about being a fierce competitor and bringing the juice, and Jamal Hubbard has done that all game long. Doesn't look at the scoreboard, just plays each play. It's going to be 4th down and 6 from the 37-yard line. Edwards at quarterback, takes a snap, looks to his left. He'll fire on the slant, and it's caught. And a first down, the catch is made by number 27, Justin Goodman.
And just a phenomenal throw there by the quarterback, hitting his receiver right off the cut, really, on a big conversion for this Scots offense.
3rd and 4th string, the Scots still in their system, still going fast. And the ball comes out. Manchester gets it. They did not blow the ball dead and came out. Javion Davis, Johnny on the spot, is able to collect it in a turnover for Manchester.
And as we see here, they're able to just stand the running back up, and you're taught as a defender to go after that ball when he stood up like that, and that's exactly what they did there. Able to pop the ball loose, and I can't say this enough. I want to just commend the Manchester defense for how they're fighting continuously, no matter what's on the scoreboard, no matter the situations that they're put in, or no matter how long they're on the field. They just keep going and keep fighting.
Out trot the Spartan offense. Waddington will be the running back. Eric James at quarterback. James back to pass. Getting some pressure, and he'll go down. A big-time sack by number 94, Jacob Taunton.
And as we've seen all game from Alma Scott's defense, they are able to just penetrate that offensive line, make a few moves on them, and then all of a sudden, time and time again, we've seen either sacks or tackles for loss in the backfield.
Yeah, on that replay, it looked like we saw that offensive lineman kind of get pushed and moved to one side, and a little rip move the other way led to the Scott sack. Ball in the air and almost intercepted. An incomplete pass intended for LeVar LeSure. And he's down in some pain. And we'll take a break while he recovers. 7:51 left here in the contest.
Every person has a story waiting to be told. Mr. Jack comes in every Monday.
Yeah, that's right.
One day I noticed his hat said he was a Korean War veteran. I asked him if he'd ever been to the Korean War Memorial.
No, I never had a chance to go.
That was the day I knew we had to do whatever it took to get him there.
Manny made it happen. I got to go to Washington, D.C. to all the memorials. The World War II Memorial, Naval Memorial, Korean War Memorial. Took all kind of pictures and everything, and it was a good trip, too.
I'm glad that I could be a part of Mr. Jack's story.
We encourage you to follow us on Twitter at IndianaSRN. Find upcoming games, video highlights, and much more. Follow us now at IndianaSRN. We encourage you to follow us on Twitter at IndianaSRN. Find upcoming games, video highlights, and much more. Follow us now at IndianaSRN.
LeSure was able to walk off on his own power. 3rd and 19 now for the Spartans at the 7-yard line. Pass in the air, and it's caught. And it looks like he picked up a first down. And again, that's Kenneth Redd.
And he's just able to go up and catch the ball at its highest point there. And way to go by James to just let one rip there, as they really needed just something on this drive.
Nice gain of 20 yards. Kenneth Redd now has 4 catches for 40 yards. And up the left side was Moss. He'll go out of bounds, but not before a nice pickup of 6 yards for Moss, junior. 2nd and 4 from the 30. James out to Moss again. Swing pass. Gets past one tackler. Only 2-yard gain there. Be 3rd down and 2. Ethan Skinner checks in for Manchester. From Central Noble High School in Kendallville, Indiana. 6'1" freshman. James has 3 receivers to his left, 1 to his right. Throw a quick swing pass to Moss Jr. Gets up the field and gets another first down. A good block by that freshman Skinner. Helped Moss get to that yard to gain. Here we see his swing pass. And Skinner able to get him out of the way for a nice completion and a first down. First and 10, 5:24 left. James, some pressure, gets rid of it. And probably the best thing for that play is that incompletion that they're running, that receiver dropping that pass.
That is the best case scenario there because he had a Alma Scott defender right there ready to just light him up.
There's DeAndre Kirby in motion. And Peyton, what's the advantage of putting a man in motion as a quarterback? What's that tell your eyes?
For your eyes as a quarterback, it helps you read the defense a little better and see if they're in a disguised defense because they'll shift based on the motion. So if they're aligned one way with the offensive player on one side of the ball and they go to the other and they switch alignments, you can either see if they're trying to roll somebody down for cover 3, bump him back for cover 2, or if they're just in straight man.
Sullivan Mills on the tackle there as James escapes the pocket. Able to get, call it 2 yards. We'll call it 3rd and 8. As James gets organized here. They've had some success finding Duriel Moss Jr. on this drive. Back to pass. Here's the out again, and it's caught, and another first down. Kenneth Redd. It's another Manchester first down as they cross into Scott territory. Let's take a look at this play, Peyton.
And great throw as he had to stand in there with some pressure in his face, and a tough catch by the receiver, but he steps up and he makes it in the time that they need it as they're trying to find their first points of the year here.
Really used his body well, did Red, to shield off the defender, keep himself between the defender and the ball. Gets that first down. There's a quick pass out to Moss, and that was not a lateral. Good call there by the official right on top of it. Peyton, tell us about some scores that we have around college football as it's week 2. And a whole line change for the Alma Scots here on defense.
Yeah, in Mississippi, we have Mississippi up 27-17 against Tulane. Michigan is up against the University of Las Vegas, 35-0. Miami, Florida is on top of Texas A&M, 31-26. And Tennessee is trailing Austin Peay at home. And one last one here, Oklahoma is barely ahead of SMU 7-3 at home in a huge game tonight with Alabama and Texas in Alabama. And also Florida State and Southern Miss at Florida State and USC and Stanford later tonight.
And also tomorrow we have week 1 of NFL action. The Indianapolis Colts are home to the Jacksonville Jaguars. It seems like the roles have reversed. Years ago, the Colts would always dominate the AFC South. Now, Trevor Lawrence is the man to beat for the Jacksonville Jaguars as they made a nice playoff run last year. How's your NFL fantasy football team looking?
I haven't had my fantasy football draft yet, but
you're running out of time, Peyton.
But yeah, I'll be in a few different leagues probably. It'll be interesting to see what Anthony Richardson can do because the Colts have had a few dead years now in a row, and they're trying to find something. And I feel in my gut he's either going to be really good or a total bust. There's no in between.
Well, for fans of the Indianapolis Colts, they hope that he is successful in the future. Here's a hitch and go down the sideline, and caught the freshman Ethan Skinner making an impact from Kendallville, Indiana. The Central Noble product with a first down.
And just great heart by this kid already. As a freshman in a game, as we're going to see here, this quarterback, James, just lets it rip to the freshman again. And as a freshman, when you're in a game like this, not only are you getting time maybe because initially there was nothing going, but you're also getting a chance to showcase why you wanted to play college football anyway.
Yeah, the freshman tight end, 6'1", 190 pounds. We saw him earlier pick up a big block to get a first down there. He was able to, again, provide some space between the defender and the ball. Use his body to shield the defender away from it and get a first down as we take another look. A little fake that quarterback bit on. Up the field for the first down inside the 35 to the 33. Skinner shaking up a little bit, but he gets up and gets a nice hand from his teammates. He's played some really good football here in limited time. Be 1st and 10 at 34-yard line. And Eric James back behind center in their pistol formation. Albert Waddington in at running back. James looks to his tight end, number 8, Peyton Fry, just a touch behind him.
Fry had a little bit of a step on him, so if James was able to step into that throw comfortably, he would have had him, he would have led him, and potentially he could have split the defenders and walked into the end zone.
2nd and 10, 3 minutes left in this contest. It's been all Alma all game long. Manchester trying to get on the scoreboard for the first time this season. James rather, again finding Kenneth Redd. And the James to Redd connection, this drive has been very important. This drive, remember, started all the way at the 2-yard line as the defense came up with a great goal line stance. Well, the Spartans are on the drive. This time the pass goes through Redd's hand. They're getting a big cushion to Kenneth Redd. That one falls incomplete. Good to see Ethan Skinner running around. Maybe feel like he's okay to get back in there. Second and 10. Pass through the middle. It's caught by Redd again. Inside the 10. Another first down by Redd. 2:14 to go.
And it looks like they got a little bit of an up-tempo going here. An awesome drive by the Spartans offense here. Finally getting something going through the air, as we suspected, as he finds him right over the middle in the gap of that cover 2 looking defense, which is the weakness of a cover 2. But it's been really encouraging, I bet, for the Spartan sideline and just the whole team to see James find some success now through the air.
1st and goal. Here's out to Moss, tries to make a man miss, but a good open field tackle by the Scots. Taken down by Ryan West, number 8. West is a freshman from Cedar Springs, Michigan, Cedar Springs High School. 2nd down as the clock continues to run. Manchester trying to punch this one in the end zone. Here comes the fade route over to the right-hand side. Intended for DeMarc Bellman. Kind of a jump ball there intended for DeMarc Bellman. Be 3rd and goal now from the 8. Maybe they go back to that Kenneth Redd little out pattern that they've had some success with. Redd, I think, has a little size advantage against the cornerback. Redd being 6'1", if he can just go to 8 yards and turn around and post up on the block like you would in basketball. The clock's at 30 seconds.
Having that fade here would be nice, but almost lining up in the doubles and have some kind of slant out pattern or even maybe a smash concept as well called. Could be good for the Spartan offense because it'll catch one or the other, the corner and safety, off guard.
3rd down and goal, and I think Manchester wants to call a timeout to think about what they want to call here to try to get in the end zone. Minute 6 seconds remain. And again, want to remind you that next week Manchester is against Greenville, and that will be here on the network, HCAC TV, powered by IndianaSRN. And other games that we've had finals, especially from the network and HCAC TV. Aurora was the winner at Franklin earlier, 45-30. Mount St. Joseph beat Harum 62-21. Rose-Hulman and Trine kicked off at 7, and Bluffton also with a later start that kicked off at 6 o'clock. We look forward to bringing you next week's action as it's 3rd and goal. So, Peyton, realistically, you got 2 plays to get 8 yards and cross that goal line and get your first touchdown of the 2023 season.
And I wouldn't be surprised at the top of our screen if we see a corner out by the inside receiver.
Here comes pressure. James will get hit, and he'll go down. The Scots want to keep on to that shutout. Number 42 on the sack, and really tried to say he had the ball with Sullivan Mills. As we see the hit on James as he goes down. 4th down, and they're going to go for a field goal. On the attempt from the 24, we'll call it a 34-yard field goal as the clock continues to run down. Manchester with no timeouts. 6 seconds on the play clock. Here's the snap. The kick is up, and it's blocked. And it's caught by the Scots, and will they return it all the way? He's through the 40. He's going to go. The 20, 10, touchdown. The Alma Scots catch the blocked field goal attempt and return it all the way for a touchdown. Let's take a look. Matthew Mason's attempt. It was blocked. And all the way down the field. 100-plus yards. And that will be the end of the game. As Alma has won by a score of 68-0. As the players meet at midfield to shake hands. Kind of our last thoughts here, Peyton, as we wrap up. This one was all Alma all the time. Alma played really well, forcing lots of turnovers, and ultimately coming away with a 68-0 win.
It was all Alma from the start. They were able to find their rhythm very quickly, and their high-tempo offense really is what did it this week and last to put a lot of points on the board. And for Manchester, we saw some encouraging glimpses in their pass game with James when he got put in the game, but ultimately Alma was dominant here.
Dominant indeed. Don't forget to join us next week here at Manchester University, where these Manchester University Spartans host Greenville. For producer Nick Lewis and cameraman Justin Griffiths and my partner Peyton Brown, this is Clark Chafin. Thank you for tuning in. Until next time, so long, everybody. This is HCAC TV, powered by IndianaSRN.